I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Lookback, where I take a look at reviews I did a year, 5 years, and 10 years ago. Well, in this case, just a year and 5 years, because 10 years ago I was moving to America. And tell you what I think about them now. We got a lot to go through, so let's get started. A year ago, I took a look at Llama, nominated for the Spiel des Jahres. Some people like it. I hated it. It is worse than Uno for me. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Narelle. This is a game based on some books, very popular books, but wow, this game was obtuse and just not that interesting. It was so slavish to the theme, I think that they forgot to put an actually fun game in there. Little Town, this is a worker placement style game where you add buildings. I thought it was okay. Since I've done the review, I found that it's pushed towards kids. I think it works better for kids. Rolling Bandits, this is for kids where you're just trying to roll Yahtzee rolls as you try to capture different train cars. It's a fun little game to go back and forth with kids. North American Railways, this is a stock market style game. That was pretty good. It's all cards. The whole thing is a bunch of cards, and I don't mind it. I just think it's a bit forgettable. Dust in the Wings, this is a game I really enjoyed. The butterflies, it's pretty and beautiful. And I thought, as you're trying to move something around and collect these different things, I like the concept. There was a variant that the designer recommended later on that made the game better for me, which I mentioned in the review. Curios, this is a little game from AEG that gets lost in all their big, great games. This is a little small one about collecting these things, kind of trying to outguess your opponents. It's a good small pocket game. Space Base Command Station. It's a big giant box for Space Base. I give Space Base a 10. I love the game. Space Base, the command station, a big box with sleeves. It's not necessary, but it's nice to have. Gem Hens, a nice kind of programming game where these hens are running around trying to collect gems. Unfortunately, the rating would be higher if it wasn't for the production of this that just didn't come out for me. The hens fall over too easily. The board's too small. 5211, a little card game from Plan B Games, which I enjoyed. It's not mindless, but it's kind of a game you just sit back and just play cards, try to outguess everybody else. A nice casual game. Who's It? A cooperative party game where everyone's trying to guess who someone else is. I like the concept a lot. It's a good one. We played this one, I think, live that you can watch. Vinyl, really great theme here. Vinyl, as you are having a record collection. So it's a worker placement game. You place these workers out. You're collecting records, trying to get records of the same type or different types. Really neat theme. Catch the Match Duo. Turn over 2 cards. Find either one thing that's the same or both things that's the same. It's a game that there's many, many versions of. The Duo version adds just a little bit more, definitely for kids, but a good kids game. Terra Below. This is Tremors, the board game. As you drive around, it's silly fun. You want to drive around in different vehicles and you shoot these worms that come out, steal their eggs, deliver them other places. Silly fun game. That's Terra Below. Machikoro Legacy. Strong legacy game. I actually liked Machikoro Legacy better than Machikoro. I think Machikoro is a good game. It was a little bit of take that. Legacy kind of let you modulate that. It's only 10 games long. Escape Plan. This is a big Vasel Lacerda game. It's actually one of his lighter games and his most thematic games as you try to get out. I really like this one. It's big, it's grandiose, a bit of push your luck near the end. Probably too many rules for its own good, but a solid game. Dragon Scales, to be fair, this one's in a Dice Tower Essentials game. This is a reprint of an older game, but a nice one where you're just going in and trying to fight a dragon and steal treasure and get out alive. Or one of those 3 things, and the game has different ways it can end. I took a look at the Mystery Book Series. This is the second one from this publisher where they make these just fantastic graphic novels that you go through. Really like them. You can watch a review to see what I think of each of the books. And then Horrified. Hard to believe that Horrified is a year ago, but man, what a great cooperative game. Still great today. 5 years ago, I took a look at Bottlecap Vikings. This is like a small mini game that Tasty Minstrel made. I think it was an addition to one of their Kickstarters. Too small, too little. There's nothing there for me. 20th Century Limited. This was a game I was kind of excited by from the Horgers, a train game, but just trying to figure out where everything is on the map, trying to connect things, it was too much. The game was kind of working against you. Dungeon of Fortune, another Tasty Minstrel game that just didn't work for me. A missing rule in the rule book didn't help. Kind of a push your luck game, but too lucky for me to push it. Game election, this was just a way to pick what game you're going to play. It works in that regard. It's not really a game. It's if you can't decide what game, you kind of vote on the different games using this tool. Nevermoor, a nice little card drafting game based on the Raven set, quote the Wave Raven, Nevermoor. Nice little game. I liked it a lot more than I had expected to. Operation Faust, this is about saving paintings during World War II. Monumental Men, the movie, same thing. A good little game along the lines of Coup. A little bit more in depth than that, but nice back and forth bluffing each other. Comics, you make your own little comic story. Kind of a party game, but a party game where you put these different things down and tell how it makes a story. It's a lot of fun. Dark Tales, this is a dark fairy tale card back and forth game. That one worked well. Mars Attacks, 10-minute takeover. This is a little Mars dice chucking game, which I was like, I don't think I like this one that much, but it was fun. I'm sorry, dice flicking game. Mogul, great little train game. This was a reprint I took a look at. Train game of taking shares in a bidding method. There's no trains in it. It's really just train stock, where you throw a chip on it or you take all the chips back. The last person who can keep putting chips on it gets to keep the share. Really cool concept. I took a look at the new Almond Ray. Almond Ray, fantastic bidding game from Reiner Knizia. This was the reprint of it. Really solid game. And Flip City. Flip City, what a great little card game where you're flipping the cards over back and forth. I actually didn't like the expansion for Flip City that came out later on, but I liked the base game here a lot. And then finally, Champions of Midgard. This keeps going up for me. I love this game. Of course, my rating also includes the expansions, which I think are necessities, but it is a solid game and one of my favorite games to play, Champions of Midgard. So that's what I reviewed a year and 5 years ago. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Lookback on the Dice Tower.